Carnivore diets, keto diets, health fads. What health fads are real versus not, and what health fads are beneficial versus not. In today's episode with Vanessa from Culina Health, we sit down, we talk about all things health and all things related to her experience in fighting breast cancer. I hope you learn as much from this experience as I have. Vanessa, thanks so much for coming, especially after all this time.
I know. When I'm down for the count, then I'm here.
Especially after what you just shared that you've experienced.
Yeah.
So I know you said you just got your ovaries removed. So I'd love to hear more about that. Was like the reasoning behind that.
Yeah, I had breast cancer in 2023, HER2 triple positive, which is estrogen dominant cancer, and it's also the most well-researched cancer. So the treatments are 98% curative, which is awesome. So I was stage 1A and fine. I had to do 14 rounds of chemo, 20 rounds of radiation, two surgeries, and then tamoxifen, and then a drug called Lupron to suppress my ovaries so that put me in menopause because we don't want the estrogen to be up. And then you would convert to a different drug when you hit menopause. But that drug also makes you kind of crazy. And that's like well documented. So the oncologist is like, people who are stable like you don't do so great on this. And I'm like, get out of my way, lady. I don't want to talk. like I'm traumatized. You just told me I had cancer. Like, I'm not doing all of this. Get out of here. And then the other day I was like, actually, you're right. I cannot be on this drug anymore. It's also inconvenient. I work for a living, so I can't keep coming here every quarter and like getting these shots. I just show up whenever. I'm like, I know my appointment's next week, but I have to travel, so please help me. So I just like went to the doctor and I was like, okay, hey guys, let's be done with this. So they removed my ovaries. And then I also had a fair amount of scar tissue in the left breast because of multiple surgeries. So they took fat from my stomach and put it in my breast. So don't feel bad for me, guys, because I got free liposuction on the deal. Yeah. So yeah, but it's like a crazy thing. They're like, hey, people like you, even though you don't have genetics, like there's no screening for ovarian cancer. So let's just be smart and like have that not be a thing to think about. And I'm like, okay, great.
So is there there's a correlation between breast cancer and ovarian cancer?
Yeah, they usually just see it hand in hand, right? And like when you have a BRCA gene, you would remove your ovaries, you would remove your breasts, right? That would just be like prophylactic. So it's the same kind of thought here. Like even though it's not in my family, even though we caught it early stage, this is a place where cancer would go. And even though the chance of recurrence for me is very low, like 2 to 3%, it was like, don't you just want to sleep at night and not think about this part? I was like, yeah, sure. Sounds great.
And is there any, what are the, I guess, psychological effects that you feel right now after the fact? Is there a difference?
I don't feel anything different because I've been technically like in a menopause for like the last 3 years. So I don't feel different. I think I was like very traumatized when I found out that I had cancer. So I had like all of those emotions. All my friends my age are in perimenopause or menopause. So it's not like it's not happening for us. So it's okay. I think it's mostly that like, oh, wow, I had cancer and my body made cancer. So that's like kind of scary. But this part feels like an adult. It's kind of like when I see on my cap table, irrevocable trust, Vanessa Rissetto. And I'm like, I'm an adult. Look what I've done for myself. So that's how I feel about this.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so diving into more of you having breast cancer, you found out why, and you also raised $10 million while fighting it. Tell me, I just want to know everything about what that was like.
It's like kind of crazy. We did what our investor said, right? It's like, okay, $5 million in ARR, 3,500 sessions a month, you will easily raise a Series A. But I was like, hey, you know what? We should just like go out to market a year in advance anyway. And then in that time too, like, okay, I had already found out that I was sick and I had already been doing chemo, and it was like, okay, let's get in there and like put our minds right. So I had been dealing with cancer for a while, but it had taken us so long to raise that round, and it was such a weird thing because there was nothing. We were doing it. We're hitting it. We have outcomes. It's like, what is the market rewarding kind of thing? I think it was like a trauma response. Like, hey, if you just dissociate and you just focus on this thing, right? Get money into your business, make sure your business doesn't die, then whatever's happening over here is just like very routine, go here. And so in hindsight, I'm like, that was kind of dumb because what if I was terminal? Would I have responded in that same way? I have kids. Like I would have wasted days. But I did it and we still grew 100% that year.
That's incredible.
Yeah. So it was, you can do hard things, guys. That's the message.
You can just do things.
You can do things. You can do things. Exactly.
But, and how, what was going through your mind at the time for which you said you were kind of compartmentalizing that you had to fight breast cancer while running a company?
I think it's like, women don't get a flow of dollars. Women of color don't get a flow of dollars. I think it's like I'm somebody who has something to prove. So when these guys are like, 10x the return and don't take less than, I'm like, guys, relax. Like, you want 10 times your money? I'm going to give you 10 times your money. Not tomorrow, but I'm going to give it to you. And you don't have to think about that. I'm a really dutiful person and I will always take it to the end. But I think that's like, what does the world see when they see me? What do they expect? What are the rules? And that's not like I have a chip on my shoulder about it. It's just like, I've been in this story. I've heard the things. So let me make sure that no one can poke any holes in me and my work and what I'm doing. And those are the things that I hear all the time. Vanessa is a founder with high morals, high integrity, and like crazy domain experience. Like, okay, great. So at least I know that I can lead with that. And I show up.
Regardless.
Oh, yeah. If I say I'm going to do something, I have a really good friend, Benji and Katie. Benji's a doctor. He's like, if there was a fire and there's one person in the world to get me out, it would be Vanessa. Katie, his wife, is like, hello. I'm here. He's like, I don't care. I'm saying it in front of your face. She will always come through. So it's a good.
I imagine that you're the person that pops up in people's heads when they say, like, if you're in a hostage situation, who are you calling?
It's me. Yes, I'm very resourced. I'm like, just call me. I will get you out of any problem. That's what I tell my kids. I'm like, don't lie. If you tell the truth, mommy can help you. If you lie, sorry. That's it.
And how did having breast cancer affect motherhood for you?
You know, you're just like, oh shit, I want to see my kids grow up. Like, am I going to be okay? My son is like is me. So he's like always in an existential crisis. And he's like, are you going to be okay? Sometimes I think about how you die and you're nothing forever. And I'm like, oh my God, you are my son. And my daughter is like, you guys think too much. It's just like not good for you. Don't do that. She's like, Rocco, mom is fine. She just yelled at us. And I'm like, yeah, she's the MVP. Everyone go get with Kate because she's just like, be happy, live your life. So there is a weird thing. But yeah, you just want to like see them grow. And it's so cool when they become their own people and you see that they're like cool people or people that you want to hang out with. Like my kids routinely win like the nicest kid at the camp or the nicest kid in school. And I'm like, wow, I could teach you math. I can't teach you to be kind. That's inside you. And that feels good.
Yeah. And you said you've been dealing with low-level anxiety about recurrence in one of your interviews that I saw.
Yeah.
How does that affect you now versus about a year ago?
Yeah, or 3 years ago. So like before, you would hear if somebody had cancer or somebody had something and you'd be like, oh God, that's horrible. And oh, thank God that's not me. Right. And like now you're like, ooh, is that twinge cancer? I think that's like anybody who has had cancer. It just that comes into your mind and then it comes out pretty quickly. Like you don't stay there, but that's a very real thing because I had symptoms. People told me it was nothing. It was something. It's all of that. So it is in your mind. There is not a day that I wake up now that I don't think like, oh, I had cancer. That sucked.
Why is it that I've heard especially doctors with people of color and women of color are discriminated towards their health issues? Why is that the case?
Yeah, it's so funny. I was at career day yesterday at my kid's school and I was like, oh, do you know what bias is? And they're all like, I'm like, listen, if you don't like something, go get closer to that so that you can learn more. The more you're around things that are different than you, the more you're going to learn. I have learned that very quickly. I think other people have not. Black women die at twice the rate of breast cancer than their white counterparts, even though white women are diagnosed more, right? So like 50% more, but like Black women die faster because they don't complete treatment because they are not seen or heard. And all my friends are doctors. And from the time I got diagnosed to my first surgery was 3 weeks, would have been 2 weeks, but we had to get a special test and my surgeons text me and they call me. And so that is what we do at Culina Health, right? You don't have high health literacy. You don't know how to have a meaningful dialogue with your physician, but you need something done. Then we become that quarterback for you and we get you the outcomes that you need because of who I am and who I know, this is how I was treated. And I toured all the big cancer hospitals and talked to all the researchers and the people who were doing the trials and got the answers that I want and then made those informed decisions. And I had peace of mind about all of my care. And I want that for other people too. So
why is that we don't have that in the US right now? I feel like there's so many, one of our biggest issues in the US healthcare system is like the lack of care, the lack of education on insurance, the prices, the premiums on everything. It just feels like it's impossible.
I just paid $11,000 for my surgery. $5,200 of it was because if they went over by a minute in the OR, I would have to pay anesthesia. But the hospital has a nursing strike. And so the nurses that are there are all traveling nurses and don't even know where the bathroom is. So yeah, I went over. I went over by like 4 hours because it was like slower moving. It's the things that we value in this country, I think, the things that we elevate, the things that we're afraid to talk about. We have engaged lobbyists so that we could be part of the conversation with HHS and MAHA to just like try to show the people who are in charge like what is actually like the general population. And so the general population is us. Mm-hmm. And these guys are saying things like, you guys should use like Mark Hyman function and you guys should have your own chef. And you're like, wow, like this is the people over here that are supposed to like govern us are so disconnected from like the things that we are really experiencing. And I think it's like the same thing here. It's like, who are we letting into these medical schools? Are you doing bias training with them? When I was the dietetic internship director at NYU, I purposefully tried to diversify the field. 98% of registered dietitians are white women. Mm-hmm. That was not the class that I was letting in. I didn't care that you had a 4.0. I wanted something more substantive because of this main thing. The more you see people that are different than you, then the better you're going to do. The more empathy you're going to have. The more you're going to see people. It's a hard thing to get. But I will say from my experience, the doctors that I know, the doctors that I've worked with, they have treated me amazingly and I don't feel biased by them. I did go to a main cancer center in New York and I did feel biased from that practitioner when she told me how her course of treatment was going to go. And then I went to Boston to somebody else and they were like, no, that is not the right course of treatment. We agree with the Sinai team. And then that was that. But
what was the bias that you felt like they had?
This doctor, I walked in with my cousin, who is also a clinician. She's a therapist. And we walked in and we had questions and point of view. And I had read research. And this doctor did not like that I was trying to have an open dialogue with her. She did not like it. Mm-hmm. She was like, this is not what I would do. My sister-in-law had breast cancer and I treat it this way. And I was like, really? Because that feels like really advanced stage. I'm just trying to have this conversation because this could really compromise me, like make me really sick. And she was like, this is so we know it's not going to come back. And the guys at Dana-Farber and the guys at Sinai were just like, this is not it. Of course, if you were metastatic, if you're farther along, we would have treated you in this way. But that is not going to help you. Like, we don't need to do that. Why do we have to make you sick? Why can't you have a better quality of life? Like, let us think about that and the survivorship and where you'll be in a year or 5 years. And so that was important. Somebody who wanted to have a conversation with me and thought about me as a whole person, not just like, oh, I got to make sure that I get this right statistic so that I get the right funding and all of that.
And how will you think emerging technology impact how diagnoses happen and also how bias is trained within medical students in the future?
So I think I had a bad mammogram after I finished chemo, which is like really terrible. And the resident, she was just like, you have calcifications again. And that was what your cancer was. So like, this could be cancer. I go, I don't like you. Don't talk to me. And I start texting my surgeon. And she's like, come back tomorrow at 12:45. I was like, this resident sucks. Get rid of her. She's like, noted. I haven't seen that resident since. So who knows? So who knows what happens there? Sorry, I forgot what we were talking about. You said
how will technology in the future?
We're not going to see this anymore where you're like, oh, did you know this person had appendix cancer and nobody saw that? The radiologist didn't read it. They thought it was a shadow. That's not going to happen anymore because what happens now is we run it through AI. The resident looks at it. The attending looks at it. We run it through AI again. And then they're like, okay, yeah, you can go. You're good. Or we see something, we need different images. So that is what is so promising about the AI is that it's going to look at it from a different angle, and make sure that we're not missing stuff. That's awesome.
Do you think we will ever get to the point, you know how we're automating away a lot of jobs like investment bankers who thought maybe they were untouchable. It turns out they're replaceable by AI. Mm-hmm. I would say 99% of my job is probably replaceable by AI at some point. Do you think we'll get to the point where in the medical field, doctors, nurses, No,
we are going to use AI for more time in patient care, less time doing administrative work. Right now, I just turn on the agent, I turn on my computer, and then it's listening and it's doing all the scribing for me. And there's all like sophisticated like whiteboards and flat screens in all of the rooms, and you get a lot of information that way. So I think that's what we use it for, and better like diagnostics. Probably also like real time in surgeries, we'll be able to take pictures, do things, and be like, oh, it's this. Like, what if we did it this way? So all that stuff is cool. But I need a doctor to touch me and talk to me. I don't feel comfortable with just AI.
True, the human aspect.
Yeah, there has to be a human. And I think it's a good thing, right? Like in my internship once, I had a doctor be like, I'm just a doctor practicing medicine. I'm not God. right? So like hearing that, being like, oh my God, yeah. And then getting more efficiencies of scale from AI and seeing how the physician can be superpowered further solidifies that idea. Like, oh yeah, they're not God and they do need some help. And like, that's really good. But it just helps us do our job better and faster. And that is very interesting. And also like the predictive nature of the AI, if we can get patients to use like our agents, like we're training an agent, all that stuff, like then I could see, oh, I'm assessing risk. This patient's at risk for going back into the hospital. And now I have workflows. And now I'm going to make sure that these hospital systems are no longer in crisis because we are reducing readmissions rates. Like there's so much good that can happen.
So what's your agent going to do?
So, administration just declassified PTOT RDs, right? And so if you have acumen for science, you're not going to be an RD because it's going to be harder for you to finish your degree. You're not going to have access to loans. You're not going to get paid a ton of money out in the market. When you talk about these nutrition companies, who is the only one that has outcomes? Us. Who's the only one with a payer on the cap table? Us. Who's the only one that has inked health system deals? Us. 80% of our business is also coming from physicians. So we're like, oh, actually, we're just going to train an agent on how we deliver care. And now when you open up the Epic and it's like, okay, hey, Claire, and I'm your doctor, it's like, whoop, there's the Culina agent, because 85% of the stuff you do is nutrition, right? And then you open up your My Chart and it's like, oh, Vanessa's plan for you, Claire, was this, this, and this. And you take a picture of your food and it's giving you everything and it's feeding back into the physician. And then we're actually reducing the total cost of care, and the payers know, and the health systems. It is a way to keep things sticky, and my $1 billion plan.
It's amazing. I can't wait to see it.
I know. It's going to be so good.
So I would love to jump into nutrition.
Yeah.
I think nutrition has been something that's feels like alongside biohacking has been such a hyper focus of people. I think I got some crazy statistics. 37% of adults are obese, down slightly, but still nearly 4 in 10. Diabetes is at an all-time high due to obesity rates, and 70% of adults in the US now qualify as obese. So how do you think we got to this point? And do you think, I'd love to hear more of your thoughts on GLPs. Really take it away.
Okay. So do you know the French population, only 12% of France's population is overweight or obese. In 1991, our population was 12% overweight or obese. And so now we're smarter and we're better. And before last year, we were, I think, at like 48%. And then we went down only because of GLP-1s. And so what happened? Like, we have more convenience foods, I guess. And then this has brought us to this point. And also there's this rhetoric, right? Like, eat and drink whatever you want, whenever you want, and it doesn't matter. And like, that's not true, right? We know that if you are overweight or obese, your instances of cancer are increased because you have a propensity of more insulin that's out in the body. And we know that if insulin is up, then cancer is up, weight is up, right? So that's there. We know that to be a fact. So why aren't we instructing people in that way? Why aren't we telling them that like cashew cheese and McDonald's are like not different? This is like ultra processed foods. And so if you're constantly eating ultra processed foods, you are also at risk, right? Like, there is no upper limit of alcohol. Like, we should be paying attention to sugar. People need to be educated, and they also need to know that a dietitian is not here to take anything away from you, but instead to show you how to do it. And so that is actually the work that we're doing, going to the Hill, being like, hey, just expand coverage. Literally expand coverage. We are highly trained and underutilized. We are the front line of healthcare, and we will get these patients better, faster, because insurance pays us to talk to the patient once a week for 1 hour. Usually people have 26 to unlimited visits, and your benefits turn over every calendar year. So we can help you get better. GLP-1s, it's really funny because, for a long time, people would come to us and they'd be like, I want to lose weight, but I don't know if I am allowed to. And you're like, what? Huh? Yeah, it was like so weird. And, it's like, okay, well, let me ask you some questions. If you have an eating disorder, then no, you shouldn't be focused on losing weight. But if you don't, then we can help you. So there was that. We at Culina always stood on the line like, hey, if it's safe for you to lose weight and that's what you want to do, then that's fine. The other day, somebody told me, breast cancer is the disease of the overweight or obese. And because of the way that food is manufactured in this country, that's a differential of 3 to 5 pounds for someone. That's what somebody said to me. An oncologist. And I was like, that is very scary. And I understand what they're saying. I understand you are at risk. You are at risk for breast cancer if you're overweight or obese. So I get it. And what is material to me is different than what is material to you. So GLP-1s reduce inflammation. So if you have a history of cancers in your family, if you are obese, like so much so, if you have tons of food noise and we have tried everything and it hasn't worked, then you should work with a dietitian and you should get on a GLP-1. The Mayo Clinic put out the study. The efficacy is increased. I think it's by like 28% when you work with a dietitian. Our patients don't have rebound weight gain. They don't have their hair falling out.
Yeah, so that's what I was hearing about is like also there's Ozempic face. It's when your face gets hollowed out.
That's because first, those people are on compounded drugs? That's the other thing. If it's a compounded drug,
a compounded drug.
A compounded drug, when we have shortages of drugs, right? We get these provisional patents to get a drug, like we'll make it from different things that is going to hopefully mimic the actual drug until we can get what we need, right? Okay. So that's what we do. So we were doing semaglutide sodium and semaglutide acetate. That is not what we did trials on for GLP-1s. And a lot of times patients come to us with all of the negative side effects, but without the benefit of the weight loss. And so then we'll bring them to our proper partners and we'll get them the actual drug. And then it is take a picture of your food, track the food with us, track the symptoms so we can say, steak is not for you, Claire. You can't tolerate that. We tracked it. It made you nauseous. Okay, but chicken you do well with, so let's do that. So training people in that way, then they know what they can eat and what they can't eat, what works for them and what doesn't. They eat proper meals. No, they're not snacking all the time and maybe they're not eating tons, but they are eating. And so they don't have Ozempic face and they don't have gastroparesis and their hair is not falling out. But you have to work with someone. Everyone just wants to like eat a Twizzler and be like size 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I have a couple friends who basically they microdose Manjaro or
like 0.25. Yeah. Because
is that okay? Is that sustainable? Can you just go on again?
You can come off. You have to work with a dietitian though, because you don't understand your hunger cues. So now your hunger is going to increase and you don't know what to do with that. So you have to be, you have to be working with somebody. You can microdose. The 0.25 is the initial starter dose. It is actually the dose that we give to like a type 1 diabetic. We usually give type 1 diabetics Ozempic because it's better for insulin sensitivity and cardiovascular benefit versus a statin. So yeah, nothing. We've been studying that for 40 years. Not going to give you liver cancer. You're probably fine on it. You probably don't even notice it. I know plenty of people that are on like that therapeutic dose and they say it's reduced puffiness. They sleep at night. Maybe they've lost a few pounds, but it's not this slam dunk. It's just that it's mitigated some symptoms that might have kind of like put you off over the edge. Like, oh, I haven't slept in a week, so now I can't think. So now I'm eating all the cookies, right? So like those are the things that they see like the benefit. But yeah. 0.25 is okay.
Okay. And what percentage of, because people talk about fitness and diet, super heavy correlation. Is it, I think that it's an 80-20 rule. It's
diet
80% diet and 20% fitness. Is that true?
Yeah, give or take. Depends. I met a girl yesterday. She told me, I was like, whoa, you're awesome. She was 5'2", 115 pounds, 90 pounds of lean muscle. And I go, tell me, what do you do? And she was a kid. She was like 25. She's like, I walk 10,000 steps every day. I was like, noted. And she's like, and I do 45 minutes of strength 3 to 4 times a week. I was like, that's it? She goes, that's it. She goes, now I need to know exactly how many calories to eat because if I gain even 1 pound, it is material for me and I like can't move. I was like, yeah, I understand. You're a small person. So I was like, don't go over 15, 60. She's like, thank you. And I like did the math right there with her. And that's the stuff that we do. That's like so interesting. But I pumped her up. I was like, never change. Do this forever. Pay attention, like focus on how much alcohol you take in your life. Yes, you understand that. Don't gain a pound because that is going to affect you in a negative way. But look at you, like 90 pounds of lean muscle. You don't have to think about a single thing. Just keep doing what you're doing.
So she's having a lot of protein. And you've said before women need more protein. Why do women need more protein than men?
She's eating the right amounts of protein. I was like really proud of her. She was like, I don't need to eat 1 gram of protein for every pound of weight. I was like, no, you don't, because then you are overeating. You need to eat protein, fat, and carbohydrate at every single meal in the amounts that are right for you based on your goal, because that helps the metabolism to work, but also keeps your blood sugar level so you don't have all these peaks and valleys. When you have peaks and valleys, you do not make good decisions. You need it to be like rolling hills. You need to not be 8 o'clock at night and you'd be like, oh my God, I'm so starving. So then you just eat all the cookies because you didn't have any carbs in the beginning. So working with a dietitian to put structure around how you eat, not like, oh, you can only eat chia seed cookies that are made with, almond flour. It's not that. It's like, okay, you like the chia seed cookies? Okay, they have to exist at this time with this meal if this is what your goal is. That is the stuff that we help you do.
So, but what about women needing more protein? Why do women in particular need more protein?
So you are aging, you are losing this muscle mass. And so if you're eating more protein, right, you are replenishing the muscle that you are like breaking down, right? We rip the muscle, then it has to repair. And so that's helping us along. And then it also helps. It's going to help us reduce our inflammation. It's going to help us to feel like, okay, now we're more full. If we increase our protein intake, then we're increasing our lean muscle mass, then we're increasing our resting metabolic rate. So then at rest, we're burning more calories. And so we're helping ourselves in this passive way, which is what everybody wants. Like today, somebody was like, should I do all of my exercises hot? I'm like, what? It's like, yeah, but like I just burn more calories. I'm like, it doesn't work like that. You don't have to. If you want to do it, that's fine. But like, just stop.
Yeah, so I feel like all of the stuff that you're saying, I'm like, oh wow, so this is true, this isn't true, all this stuff, because I feel like there are so many people who I wouldn't say are necessarily qualified as registered dietitians that label themselves as internet gurus or, you can eat your skincare, you can have a million carrots and your skin's gonna clear up. It's collagen for your face. Yeah. Just have my herb tea and you're gonna lose 10 pounds and stuff like that. So I guess I'm curious, on the dieting side, you have carnivore diet, which I'm sure you've heard a lot about.
I'm like, what? Why? I'm like, don't you want vegetables? I went to Mallorca and I was like, can someone give me lettuce? How much ham and cheese can one person eat? So like, eventually, don't you get bored? No, I do not like the carnivore diet. Not good for you.
Why?
Because you're not diversifying your microbiome. You're not eating any vegetables. If there's no fiber going in here, then you don't have good bacteria. There's nothing for the good bacteria to feed off of. You're going to get cancer. We have a direct link to red meat and cancer. If you are over consuming that, it's not good for you. So cool, guys, your blood sugar is stabilized and all your cardiovascular risk,
people are saying it's like they're fit, they're in the best shape, their skin cleared up, and I don't get it because I have another friend who actually tried the carnivore diet and she said she had the opposite effect.
She was like in hell and her skin looked terrible.
Looked horrible, breaking out like crazy. And then there's another girl who is a influencer that I follow out of sheer curiosity, but she's like, I had a stick of butter every day. I have 5 eggs with beef tallow, and I'm like, okay.
Why? It just sounds boring. Like I'm interested in food and like eating different things. And I love to go to ABCV and they charge me $800 for vegetables. And I'm like, I would eat vegetables all day if they could be like this, right? So I just think like we are omnivores. We have evolved over time and we then should lean towards that. But you're not doing yourself any favor if you're omitting like total food groups. It's not good. So no carnivore diet for me or anyone else, guys.
And what about veganism, vegetarian? How do we feel about that?
I'm always like, the vegans are so judgmental. No, I'm kidding, guys, but not in the sense of sometimes they are. Like, like the cashew cheese example. It's like, oh, I don't eat beef, and I'm like, oh, but you eat. You took this cashew cheese and you eat that? That like, is cashew supposed to be a cheese? Do you think that I am far worse off than you right now? And then they'll be like,
yeah, I remember. You remember better than meat, or what's it called?
Oh, Beyond Meat.
Beyond Meat. Beyond Meat. That they found that they had a ton of preservatives, chemicals in them, just to imitate the taste of meat.
Exactly. So just eat the meat. Like I've had very like fancy celebrity clients. I'll never say their names, and they'll never say they worked with me. But I had one in particular where the wife was like, "I'm so afraid of beef." I'm like, "You're so wealthy that you have a chef that used to be a chef at a fancy New York City restaurant who will source you anything you want. You should not be afraid of that beef. You have resources." Like, makes no sense. So yes, I think people need to really like get their minds right. Like, please diversify your diet. Please eat vegetables and fruit. And like, that's what you need to be eating, not, beef tallow every day. Although, I mean, you can have beef tallow. It has benefits, just not every day, not even multiple times a week.
Oh, really?
Beef tallow?
Yeah. When people put it on their face, is that good?
I mean, I don't know. Is it? No, I don't know that it's necessarily so beneficial, like in the way that people think. Like, are you really, if you put beef tallow on your face, is it really going to like absorb and go into the skin and like, no.
And how has the nutrition in food now changed versus what it was 30 years ago? So I heard from the other day, one of our coworkers who comes in, he was talking about how food now has less nutrition than it did. Like the
30
we've
years ago.
ruined the
Yeah,
soil.
we've ruined the
something.
soil.
Can you tell me more about that?
Yeah, because the way that we cultivate the land, the pesticides that we use, the, also just climate, like all of these things have changed how, like, the soil and how we're raising crops. And so, yeah, the food is not as nutritious as it once was. That being said, you should still eat a bean and you should still eat right? Like, everyone's like, well, that's not as nutritious. I'm like, okay, but it's still a raspberry. Like, I don't know. And raspberries are 8 grams of fiber for 1 cup. That's very good. That's a lot. It's a very significant amount. So don't not eat the stuff because the soil isn't great. And also, you don't need a ton of supplements either. Like me.
That's what I was going to say. How do you subsidize for whatever you're missing?
And what I tell people, because whenever people come to us and they're like, oh, I need supplements. I'm like, well, hold on. Let me see your labs. How is it that you are feeling? I had a woman the other day be like, I went to a naturopath and I have this whole regimen of supplements. What should I take? And I was like, well, I don't really know what you should take because this is like 5 minutes of me talking to you, but what makes you feel good? And she's like, I don't know, I've been taking it for so many years that I'm like afraid to come off. And I was like, okay, well then I would probably just do like vitamin D and magnesium and maybe some zinc and vitamin C in the wintertime. That's it.
And at what age should you start taking supplements? Because I know kids. I'm 26. I'm about to be 27.
You are a kid too. You're a kid.
but there's a bunch of people my age who are obsessively taking supplements. Like 10 to 12 to 15 different pills a day.
Claire, do not be like them. Save your money.
Just
save your money. And you know what else? I'm gonna tell you, for your 26-year-old self, drink less alcohol.
Okay.
And don't take supplements. I'm gonna tell you, in 10 years, they are all gonna look terrible. And you are going to still be looking exactly how you look. And you're like, oh, yeah, that Vanessa girl told me that. And I followed that rule. I'm telling you right now.
Wait, why?
Because everybody overdrinks. And so they don't sleep. And then they eat crap. And they're all puffy. And round and round and round we go. And it just like spills out into, then you have kids. And then it's Tuesday night. And you like go to a workout class. And then they're like, where are we drinking now? And I'm like, can't we just have a salad and go home?
Okay. I normally drink, I would say once a month or once every other month.
So you are... They're going to be mad at you. Just remember that now, but you remember this conversation. Yeah, everyone's always like, oh my God, you look so young. And I'm like, I know, because I don't drink.
Did you never drink when you were younger?
No, in college I drank because it was like the thing to do. I didn't drink before college. And then like after I was just kind of like, whatever. But yeah, and then I just stopped. I was like, oh, I can see how you can become an alcoholic like very easily because it's pervasive. You're just like sitting there with your friends, or maybe you're just watching TV and then you're drinking and then you look and like the whole bottle is gone and it's only been like 2 hours that you're sitting there. And I'm like, we don't need any of this.
Yeah. But what's interesting is drinking even amongst my friend group, when I go out with friends or even on first dates that I go on, we're not drinking anymore.
I love that.
A lot of times it's like an activity or being sober. The amount of LinkedIn posts that I've seen, I'm 100 days sober. I'm like, 2 years sober, alcohol was the worst thing ever. Blah,
it's
blah,
amazing.
Blah.
I think it's so funny, yeah, because when we went to college, it was like we all gained the freshman 15 and everybody was drinking all the time and we just all looked like bloated cats. And now everyone is like sober curious and they're like, oh, alcohol?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
no.
Multiple of my friends are fully sober from alcohol. They'll do, I feel like psychedelics, shrooms every once in a while. It's more of the other way.
It's funny. Like I have a lot of friends who are sober because they drank too much, right? Like we're kids from the 70s. So we're just like, oh, no. Just keep drinking, keep doing whatever. But now it's like, this is not good for you. It's not good for your health. It's not good for your sleeping. It's not good for your brain. Also, you don't have patience for your kids. You don't have patience for your job. There's really like not a great benefit to it at all. And you'll see. Now that I said about the skin, you're going to start looking at all your friends' foreheads and you're going to be like, mm-mm.
So drinking ages you a lot quicker. Okay.
Look at all your friends that drink all the time. They do not look like you. They don't. They don't.
Yeah. I would, I knew a couple people a couple years ago that were drinking a lot, and it aged them a lot faster.
Yeah, that's when I see Ozempic face. I'm like, guys, don't worry about that. It's the people who are drinking too much and like everything is just like gone.
Yeah, it looks a little hollow
and like old. Like everyone just looks. They look like sickly, gray.
Is there anything else outside of alcohol that you think is a hidden risk to people my age?
I really do think it's the supplements and like all like the protein powders and the collagen powders and the this and that. It's like
Can I tell you what I'm taking right now?
Tell me.
I have collagen powder because I've been told from people on TikTok that I'm losing it at the age of 25. I take biotin supplements for hair.
10,000 micrograms?
Yes.
Okay, 10,000 micrograms.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. But you have to watch out because that could give you a false read on your thyroid panel saying that like you have overactive thyroid. Overactive, yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah,
so I wouldn't even know. And
Yeah.
I take vitamin D during
It's good.
the
winter
winter
months.
to help
Yes,
with
very
seasonal
good.
depression.
Very good.
I also started eating sardines every single day.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
it's full of omegas.
Yes,
Okay.
and also it's like good calcium, like the bones. But like, why are people like setting the can on fire? Did you see this? There's like a TikTok trend where they're setting.
Yeah.
Why? Why are they doing that?
It's something about it makes it taste better.
Oh,
or
forget
something.
it. But no, sardines are great. Yes, you should eat those. Yep.
Okay. And then there's also like women supplements to help with everything down there. Just make sure everything's normal.
Okay.
And then also for gut health, because I used to have a really bad autoimmune disorder when I was in college.
Okay.
And they couldn't figure out what it was.
Okay.
But it's ironic because talking about being overly medicated in the US, at the time, I was seeing so many doctors. They told me I had flesh-eating diseases. It was very scary. At one point, they were worried I had like some uncurable, really, really rare disease. And we had seen this doctor that had a 3-month-long waiting list. My dad works in biotech, so he got us to skip the line. But basically, he was a holistic doctor.
Mm-hmm.
And he took me off of all the medications I was on. And he goes, "You're just going to get off of bread and dairy."
And that was it.
For 2 months. And lo and behold, got better within 3 to 4 months, and it was amazing. And it's so frustrating to me that it seems so inaccessible to so many people. The first result we go for is medicating.
It's so bad. It's so funny. One time I had a guy call me. He was like, "Hey, my wife is a basic B." I was like, "Hello?" And he was like, "And I went to a party with all of the wives and all of the friends and the husbands. They're terrible. And all of these basic Bs were talking about the only person who could save me with my problem is Vanessa Rissetto. So I'm calling you." And I was like, "Okay, what is your problem?" And he goes down this whole path about how he stops eating at 5 p.m. and at 11 o'clock at night, he's writhing in pain. He is so uncomfortable. He does not know what to do. He's had scopes, colonoscopies, endoscopies, all this blood tests. He's changed his diet. He doesn't know what to do. And he's talking to me. I go, "Okay, listen. And he was like, "Yeah." I go, "Take 500 milligrams of magnesium every night for a week and then call me next Thursday." He was like, "Are you fucking kidding?" I go, "No. Goodbye." And he was like, "Bye." Calls me in a week. He's like, "Dude, you fucking saved my life. You cured me." I was like, "Okay." I was like, "I didn't cure you. I'm pretty sure you have slow motility. Please go see my girl, Evgenia Pashinsky. She's the best GI doctor on the planet." And he went to see her, and exactly what I said is what he had. But the thing is that in this country, we don't spend time with patients. And so like, "Oh, you're a kid, you're young, you're drinking. Whatever, she's fine." It's just like, we're not going to, she's living her life and we're not going to go do those extra steps or spend an hour asking her all of these questions and really getting to know who she is and what. They're not doing that. When you go see Pash, you sit in her office for like, I don't know, 30, 40 minutes and she's just like talking to you about stuff before the woman even touches your body. So then you can trust her when she's trying to like, deduce things. And we share patients and we have this real conversation. I'm like, "Yeah, this is who I can send patients to." Because you would have come to me and I would have talked to you for 10 minutes and I would have left you talk for another 50 and I'd have been like, "Can you just cut out dairy and lactose and come back next week?" I swear to God.
Yeah. And I mean, that was the doctor that had a real conversation with me. I feel like other doctors that I've met because I've also had other issues, and the doctors that in which it feels like it's rushed, it's like trial and error with them. It's never the first time. It's you got to come back 3 more times, then we can have a conversation.
Annoying.
And it also just feels like you're talking to them about things that are very intimate. In some cases, they're poking and prodding in places of your body that others don't go very often. So it's like, it feels like there's just a lack of respect. I just feel like the like when anything involves doctors or medicine or a hospital, when you hear all those words, all I think of is cost.
Yeah.
There's a lot of fear.
Yeah.
And
nobody has my back. Am I going to be okay?
Yeah. And no one's looking out for me.
Yeah. I want to say, I think, like PCPs, the work of the PCP is to unearth things with you that would be wrong with you first. But because we're so focused on a reduction in the total cost of care, the PCP can only spend like 7 to 12 minutes with you. This is why I like tell everyone, I'm like, just go to One Medical. Most of you your PEO like gives you One Medical for free, and it is a very good service. And these doctors spend a long time with you. And my favorite ones that are at One Medical Chelsea, no shade to anyone else, you're all great, but those are the ones that I like work with all the time. Like these guys are like ideating with you and like thinking through it. And I know I'm a clinician, so maybe the conversation is even deeper, but I actually have a really good friend who went to like concierge medicine in Hoboken, and they gave her all these like random labs. And I'm like, girl, this does not seem right. Like, go to my guys over at One Medical. So they're like, those labs are not right. This is not okay. And she was like, whoa, these guys were like ideating with me and thinking through things with me. And I feel like I have a real care plan. And I'm like, yeah, see, that makes the patient come back to you every quarter, come into the portal and ask you questions. That's how you keep it sticky. So you have to give physicians the time to talk to the patient and learn about them. And so I don't blame the doctors 100%. Yeah, people are assholes and there are people with bias. But I think also the health system makes it so difficult for me to spend any time with my patients.
So explain, why can't I as a doctor spend more time with my patients?
Because I'm concerned about reducing the total cost of care. And patients are generally poor historians. And so as a doctor, I know if I'm in New York City and you come in and you're like, I don't know, my A1C keeps going up and I don't know what I'm doing. And I'm like, patient non-compliant, because like you're not tracking your food. I don't know anything. You're not working with a dietitian. I haven't instructed you to do so. I'm just giving you more medicine. Whereas if you go to One Medical right now and you have diabetes and it's not controlled or you're pre-diabetic, they're like, well, go see the people at Culina Health first. Here's your referral. And then I'll see you in 3 months for another lab draw. And then we'll see where we are, if we need to put you on a higher dose of medication or whatever. And then we're reporting back to the physician what we're seeing every single week and getting the patient to that better outcome. But you have to spend time with people. Why are we cutting out people's health? Like, why is that? Why do you make it so difficult for me to go to the doctor and get a question answered? That makes no sense. Or for the doctor to spend time with me.
Yeah.
Sucks.
And in the future, how do you think, I know we've talked about how AI will affect the medical aspect, but what about the insurance aspect?
So 20% of the people take up 80% of the claims.
What?
Yeah.
Actually?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So 20% of people. So our PEO for our company, it's like this crazy thing. The rates increased for insurance by, I think it was like 49%. And so, like the organization, people knew I had cancer. So like, everyone's looking at me, and the HR girl was like, so just so you know, in the town hall, this was not because of Vanessa's plan. I was like, thank you, everyone. And it was like, it was because of the just regular plan that people were using. People are having babies, people are going to the doctor, like as they should. That, because it was overutilized. Oh, I'm not allowed to go to the doctor and get my questions answered. Then it went up. It's like, okay, well then what's the next step for people? Well, then people should be able to use the dietitian and come see me every single week, because we can talk about things, we can unearth things. I have relationships with your physician. I can ask him or her to send a requisition so you can have labs drawn. So we could really facilitate better outcomes, better care, and you feeling good about your health and your life. But you got to give me the opportunity, and you can't keep shoving down my throat that like we're going to reduce the total cost of care, because that's not going to work.
So as a dietitian, you see a bunch of people, and I know you give them the right plan. What are some of the biggest mistakes that you see people make when it comes to their diet?
Oh my God. When they're like, oh, I eat meat and potatoes every day, but now I'm going to only eat beans. And I'm like, oh, okay. You're not. Or like, I just want to, I'm going to stop drinking juice every single day when you drink it 4 times a day. It's like, okay, well, how about we just try to have it like 3 times a day this week, and then next week, right? And so it's just understanding that it's not going to be one size fits all. It's not going to be like, some people can do that. I had a roommate who would be like, I smoke cigarettes and I don't smoke cigarettes. I don't think Almar smoked a cigarette in 15 years, but you could give him one tomorrow and then he might be smoking every day for a year and his wife will be so annoyed. Just people like that, take it or leave it. But that's not the majority of the person. So you need a plan, you need to work the plan, and it needs to be in steps, and you have to be successful at one aspect of it so that you can continue going on. That's the part that people don't get, because you see something on TV or on Instagram or TikTok and you're like, oh, that looks easy. The way that the person curated it and made it look easy, but it's not. Like, execution is difficult no matter what it is. And people need to remember that.
Yeah. So you're saying when it comes to diet, don't overkill with such big, lofty goals.
Keep it simple.
It's not necessarily one size fits all with that stuff. You have to see a dietitian.
You do. Or like, and you don't have to remove every single thing. Maybe the one thing that's like so terrible is that you drink juice 4 times a day. And maybe it's just okay for you to have juice once a day because actually all your other habits are perfectly fine. You eat vegetables at lunch and dinner. You have a piece of fruit every day. You don't drink alcohol. You work out. But the juice thing is a hindrance. Okay, great. Let's figure out how to slow that down. And then you see, oh, wow, shit, I lost 20 pounds because I went from 4 drinks to 1. And you feel happy and then you maintain that. So we don't have to ruin your life and like wire your mouth shut and tell you to only eat like, hey, like you can be happy and enjoy things.
And are there any superfoods that you recommend? Like what are your favorite foods universally for everyone?
I love raspberries because they taste good and they're low calorie and high fiber and you can do a lot of things with it. Although my kids always get pissed when they're like turning and I just put chia seeds and I mix it up and then I'll like do a peanut butter and jelly, but the jelly is the chia seed raspberries and they're like, what is this? so there's that. Raspberries all the time. I also love mini bell peppers. I love those and like mini cucumbers because you just like chop them up and like put them in a bowl while you're cooking dinner and then everybody can just eat those vegetables and then you're like, okay, everyone ate their vegetables today. It didn't have to be so daunting. We didn't have to roast, broccoli in the oven. So there's that. Like make that easy. I always also tell people like have 1 cup of non-starchy vegetable at lunch and dinner. Do that for yourself. It helps with fiber. It helps with fullness.
Non-starchy?
Yeah. So you're thinking like a green bean or kale or arugula or broccoli and or cut up cucumbers or I'll even take a bell pepper even though that's something different. But yeah, like just something like fresh and raw and fast that it doesn't feel like this difficult thing to consume. Like it's like, oh, it's here. And of course I would eat that. I can put that in my bag and go and just like get into those habits of getting fibrous things or getting things that are full of like vitamins and minerals that are really beneficial for you, but that you didn't have to do this big preparation. It has to be easy.
Yeah, I agree. Because I feel like when I'm in the process of eating vegetables, it's like a mission. Because a lot of the times I don't really like the taste.
Yeah.
Like kale by itself doesn't taste good. You have to put
massage
a sauce
it,
on it. You have to massage it.
Yes, you got to give it a lot of love. Yeah, exactly. So I always have bell peppers, cucumbers. I'll have like frozen broccoli in the freezer, but those are like our go-tos. Oh, and my son will only eat carrots. So like every Sunday I buy carrots. I peel them, I cut them up, and I'm like, okay, carrots from Rocco. That's it.
And is it true that if you boil a lot of the vegetables, they lose their nutrients?
You will leach out some of the vitamins. So there's benefit to that, right? Like sometimes if, like let's say you're a kidney patient and I want to reduce the potassium, but you love potatoes, well, I'll just boil the potatoes and then leach out the water and then then I get it. And also like some vitamin A. So yes, that is a way for you to be able to tolerate it without it being so potent, right? So like if I can't tolerate raw vegetables, then I would cook them down, like spinach, for example, cook it down because it's easier on the gut and I'll still get some benefit, just not as much as if it was raw.
And with carbohydrates, are there any, what's the safest carb to ingest?
Carb is a carb. So just like what is the serving size? So a serving size of bread is 1 slice. The serving size of rice and beans is 1/3 of a cup, right? The serving size of cereal, like all brand cereal, is 1/2 cup. So Oreo cookies, 2, right? So if you stick to that, then how it affects you. So if you're a diabetic and you're like, I want cookies, how many can I have? I'd say 2. You have 2 cookies and you shouldn't need insulin. That's how much carb, right? So 15 to 30 gram carbohydrate loaded every single meal is probably enough. So if you play around with that, then you know that you're not going to have these huge sugar spikes. And that's a way to like control weight, maintain your hunger levels, all of that. You can really play around with macros.
Okay. So I wanted to leave with, it does feel like we are being healthy is a full-time job. We're taping our mouths shut at night. We're doing 15-step skincare routines, dry brushing, tracking macros, cold plunging before work, doing saunas. Do you think wellness culture at all has gone too far?
Very much. Like, why do I need a dry brush? Like, do I need to dry brush my body?
Yeah.
Does it matter?
So this is so expensive.
Exactly. It's all so expensive. And then I think about my mother who smokes cigarettes, guys, and she's 76 years old. Nothing is wrong with Yaya. She's going to be here for probably another 20, 30 years. So I don't smoke cigarettes. But, my mom makes all the meals at home and she drinks water and vegetables. Not a ton of vegetables either, right? Because my mom is from Haiti. So all of her vegetables mostly are root vegetables. So that's what she's used to. But like, I don't know, doesn't have a weight problem. Like, is fine. So you're all doing too much.
Yeah.
Spending too much money.
Yeah. It's so rigid. It's so expensive. I think all the supplements I take probably at least like $170 a month.
No.
Yeah. Because the collagen, then the hair supplements, then the women's health. And
but
then
what's wrong with your hair? Because your hair looks so good.
Oh, because I take hair growth supplements to keep it growing long.
It's really nice. I used to have nice hair too, and then I got cancer. So I'm going to tell you. There was a guy, his name was Philip Bruder. He moved to Australia to do all his hair research, but he was the hair dermatologist. And he was basically like, okay, 10,000 micrograms of biotin every day. You could do that, and that is going to show a result. And it did show a result for me. So that was good. But he said everything else was pretty much crap, except for LED light, a hat.
Red light. So red light's legit.
Red light is legit. Yep, it's legit. It's legit. Red light is legit. That's and you don't have to buy like the $1,500 cap. Like you could buy like the $400 cap, which
it has to have a certain light frequency.
Yes, it has. Yep. So so the eye restore is one that you can get, and they have like various potencies, and then you do that. It works. It like will regrow back the hair. So you could do that. You could do Rogaine. You could do PRF. You could do PRP. But like all those, like the collagen is not going to like regrow your hair. And like collagen, you know, they vacillate on the verdict all the time. Like, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no.
At what age do we stop producing collagen? Because I heard people are like, 18, you got to start taking supplements at 18. Get Botox at 18, otherwise you're cooked.
No, if getting Botox at 18. So Botox doesn't work for me anymore. And I have to do like a 2-year washout. And I never did it that much. So I don't agree with that. If you don't need, like, phase it out. Like, your forehead is smooth. You don't have this problem. Don't add things that you don't need.
Okay.
Yeah. The biotin I'd stick with. The vitamin D, like, I think the way that you're doing it is good. But $170 a month is really a lot.
I know.
Magnesium? You should get some magnesium.
Magnesium to help with sleep, right? And
also, like, we don't get enough magnesium, and we don't understand what the upper limit is, but we know that we really need it. So, yes, magnesium.
Okay. I have a lightning round of true or false.
All right.
Okay, you can eat your skincare. Chlorophyll water.
No.
Okay.
False.
Collagen boosting drinks that make your skin glow.
I mean, if they're cold drinks, they're not going to harm you. I don't know. Like, how much do you have to drink?
It's like they say they have just carrots and a bunch of vegetables in there that helps you boost your collagen.
Yeah, no.
Collagen from within is what they call it. Okay.
No.
Fasting is good for men, bad for women. True or false?
That's not true. Fasting can be good for women too.
Okay.
We only did the studies on men, so right that's the problem. Yeah. But we do find, right, when women are fasting or reducing inflammation, like yeah, there's benefit to that.
Okay.
So,
what's the appropriate time for women to fast? Because I've done 48 hours and I felt like I was gonna.
No, that's
die.
awful. So we know like 16 hours is like a sweet spot, and
16
then
hours.
I do have a really good friend who's written books on keto and fasting, and she's like, there is a benefit to a 36-hour fast. I'm like, girl, I am not gonna do it. She's like, the clarity of mind that you have.
It's true.
She says,
it is true.
She says the mind is super clear.
24 hours, all of a sudden I'm like, everything's clear. I don't feel foggy because I feel like a lot of the food I do try to eat healthy, but I still eat out, and a lot of like the dressings I feel like have a lot of processed nutrition in it. So, okay, that's good to know.
Yep,
36 hours.
Clear mind.
Drinking lemon water in the morning boosts your metabolism. True or false?
No, that's false.
Okay, that's an internet trend.
Urban legend. I mean, it could be good if you have certain kinds of kidney stones.
Okay,
it could be beneficial for that. Like, but no.
Okay, seed oils are inflammatory and cause cancer. True or false?
Oh God, guys. Okay, listen to me about the seed oils. The way that we manufacture the oils in this country, the hexane, we burn that off. Is a vegetable oil not as good as an avocado oil? That is correct. So what is the serving size? It's 1 teaspoon, right? If I have like 12 teaspoons of avocado oil, that is also not good. So, right? It's about the amount. And if you can only access vegetable oil, then I need to show you how to use it, where that it's not going to be this huge impact to your life and your body. So,
okay.
Yes, my preference is for you to get better quality oils. But if all you have access to is a lower quality, then please be mindful of the serving size. And actually, everyone be mindful of the serving size.
Okay. Red meat is as bad for you as smoking. True or false?
Yes.
What? Really?
There's a direct link to red meat, overconsumption of red meat, and cancer, just like alcohol, just like cigarettes. And
in one sentence, can you explain what it does to your body when you overconsume red meat?
So the overconsumption of the red meat is just that it creates a proliferation of these free radicals and these cancer cells. Like that is what we're seeing. It's a class 1 carcinogen, just like if you eat deli meat, right? Like we know there's a direct link to colon cancer with that. So it's just where we've seen these correlations and causations.
Okay. And then last one, alkaline water is good for your health.
Oh my God.
$15 waters are good.
So first of all, when I walk into Air One, I want $30 water. Yes, I do. I'm like, I will buy all of these things. But if I am, the body is always vacillating between being like acidotic and alkaline, right? Like we're going back and forth. And this is the balance of the body. This means I'm a healthy person. So if there is a point in time where I can't maintain my pH, I'm fucked. I'm in the ICU and I'm in a lot of trouble. And the stomach is a highly acidic environment. So do you think this alkaline water is gonna survive the hydrochloric acid that's in my stomach?
So it's fraud.
It's bullshit.
All right.
But you know how many? But those people on their alkaline water, they'll get on their soapbox and they'll like punch you in the face with it. They're like, you don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, I think I do. You're wasting money.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for coming.
Nice to
Please
meet
let
you.
us know how we can support Culina Health.
Well, you have the benefits, so just come in. 93% of our patients exercise their insurance benefits. But follow us, Culina Health and Vanessa Rissetto RD and culinahealth.com and come check it out.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you.